Yes. Bones. Oh, smashing.
Smashing, indeed.
Smash. I hope some Hulk fan starts a channel one day called just Smasher in Time. Or just Smasher in Times. Maybe I'll do that. I'll start another channel.
That could
How
be
about
your
that
alt
name?
account. That would be
But
awesome.
now I hope I didn't give the idea away. Now it's going to be heard out there and someone's going to start that. I want to do that like a channel. No one knows it's me. So all of you, don't tell anyone.
Shh.
Yep, it's totally. Oh, we're on the air. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone here to CLOBBERIN Times issue number 173 on YouTube and 873 overall. And
Nice.
I haven't even checked where I am. How long I'm probably past my 1 year point here. Didn't even bother to check if I've been on YouTube a year or not. I'd have to go back and check that, but I'm way too lazy for that. Welcome everyone. I have with me tonight my wonderful, fantastic, amazing friend, the beautiful, the magnificent Purple Valkyrie. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Clobby. You make me blush, and congratulations. Oh my God, I am so proud of you.
For what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
For smashing 1K, and honest to God, nobody deserves it more than you.
Damn it. You mean clobbering 1K. Oops. How dare you, Purple?
Well, I'm just, getting you ready for your alt account.
Oh yeah, my new account that no one knows about now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Hello everybody, my wonderful friend Purple Valkyrie, and of course this is the link. It's in my description below anyway, but there's the link for her wonderful channel, Rise of the Valkyrie, and of course she is on many mornings. She was on this morning, not tomorrow, but you're on Wednesday through Friday. Indeed. And then on Sundays, right?
Indeed, yeah. And I'm lucky enough to be helping out on Thursday as well, on Mornings of Mischief. So that should be fun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, our good old buddy Loki. And a big shout out and thank you to the great Stone Loki, by the way. Not only for that amazing intro that he's made for me way back when and his wonderful friendship, but having me on his great show this morning. And I was very honored to be there. Loki, you're the man, brother.
Yeah, that was a great show you guys did.
Oh, thanks. It was all him, not me. It's his show. He's man. He is. By the way, show note, everyone. Tomorrow night. I don't have a banner up for it. Oh well. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, comic book roundtable. Loki's. He's not here. Probably he won't get mad at me. I hope he's not here. Loki's comic book roundtable. He doesn't like me calling it that because but he is the man who came up with it, and I'm a credit guy. Got to give credit where it's due. Will be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on this and on this wonderful this sort of mediocre channel, but it is great to see you all here. Purple, I'm so humbled by all the outpouring of congratulations and from all these wonderful people.
Well, people love you, Clobby.
I just can't figure out why.
You're too modest. That's the problem.
I can't help it. It's just me, and I can't stand me, so I don't want anyone else liking me, but they won't stop, so they're just doing it to torture me now. I love you all. You're all fantastic, and we'll say some hellos to their friends who are here. Then I'll talk a little bit about that. I am very honored to be at the 1K. Purple and I were talking about this before we started. It has been a long road. Getting from there to here, it's been a long. Oh, I'm not gonna say the Enterprise thing. I'm just kidding. Oops, sorry. Oh, but I've made so many wonderful friends, and so many of them always frequent my chat and make me so happy. And that is one of the greatest, of course, is Mr. Lord Thoth. Hey, buddy, LT is the man. Always a pleasure to have you here. And guys, look, you need to just tighten it up now because we not only have one beautiful lady on with me tonight, we have another beautiful lady with us in the chat, Arwen Avalon. It is wonderful to see you, my dear.
Indeed. Good to see you, Arwen.
Good to see you, Arwen. And the great Chris Persia is here, as always, the master of all of this Canadian and wrench. Brother, you've been a great pal to me here, as so many have. And, don't think I don't appreciate it, buddy. I really do. Thank you so much for being here, man. Fathom Outsider. I love that name. And he's been a good pal. My bud, Phantom Outsider, it's always good to see you, my friend. The great Mark, the infinitely tired. What's up, buddy? Thank you so much, Mark, for the congrats, brother. Thank you, man. Dadman Walking 55. And say hello to the wonderful Mrs. Dadman, if you would, Dadman. And thank you. You've been a good buddy to the show. We appreciate you. Let's see here. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, bop, bop, bop. This is my first chance to really talk about, first show I've done since, since we hit that landmark there.
Yes, it's like you were saying in the green room, you kind of put it to one side, you put it to the back of your mind, you weren't really chasing it, and boom, it happens.
I was shocked yesterday when that started to happen, because I figured, I'd gotten to like the 980s, and I was like, it's gonna go down. And then it went up, then it actually went up one, then it went down one again. I was like, see, this is just gonna be forever. Who cares? And in fact, I was at my parents' place, and I asked my old aunt. We were just talking about. They don't know anything about YouTube, But she asked about it. And I told them, and she said, "Well, how can I subscribe?" She doesn't know how to mess with YouTube. So I showed her. So I got a whole sub from her. Why not? I cheated, folks. I got my aunt, my auntie. I'm sure, like no one else ever does that. But I was like, sure, I'll show you. Like she's ever gonna watch this, but still very nice of her, of course. Snort a Poopas Cuber, good to see you, my friend. And then it just kind of started, going up, and then a few people, as you see often is the case, some of these wonderful friends of ours, started rallying it on the twats, and I was just again, I did not. I'm so humbled by all of that, all the rallying, and all the wonderful people who did that for me. I just thank you so much, and I want to. Last night I was on. Raquel and I were both on Doomcock's new Sunday show that he started for about 6 hours. And then this is how smart I am, Purple. Right after that, my good buddy Mark D with a C decided I had not been on a stream long enough, so he had to stream. I'm just kidding. He did. He was doing his stream on his new channel. He was doing a 3D printer stream, and I wanted to go see my buddy. I already kept him waiting an hour while he was doing his 3D printing stream. And I went on there with him, and so I've been basically about almost 7.5 something hours straight of just sitting there and streaming. And
that's insane. Well, it's like I asked you earlier. What's the record at the moment? Have you lost count? Or?
I have not kept count. I've just been speculating, but I haven't missed a day since I started kind of wondering. When I was around like the 10 or 15 day, the 15 or 16 day mark, I started saying, I haven't gone a day without doing a stream, and I've got to be into the 30s now. 30-something days where I have not, and as we all know, I only have 4 of my own show, except for once a month I host the roundtable. So,
well, I think that just goes to show how much people love you.
I don't know, but I'm always flattered to be on it. I'll go anytime I'm asked if I'm home and able to do so. And when I'm asked, I'm just flattered to do it, because it's not like work. It's getting to be me, which is bad enough to be me, but the better part, the one thing I do love to do, which is flap my stupid mouth about geek stuff. So I love doing that. And when I get that opportunity, and I know I seem shy to you all, but okay, I am shy. Well, not really. So I'll just talk anywhere. I admit it. J-Man Buddy, always a pleasure, sir. T-shirt historian. Hello there. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Let's see whom else we have here. Bop, 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 bop. That's my stupid vamping music that I aggravate Raquel with when I'm scrolling down. Bop, 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 bop.
Yes, and congratulations on the Star Trek show again. Another one, brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really doing very well. We're getting good crowds. We just started Next Gen. I mean, by my standards anyway, and it's and we're just having so much fun with that. And we were talking the other night. I'm not sure. Maybe it was late. I can't remember what. That's such a blur now. But at some point, I was talking to Mark D with the Zero. Maybe I was talking to Raquel. I was saying, because there's 70. For real, we only do Real Trek here, of course. So we're going to be reviewing all of Real Trek, which is 60. She likes to say 64 because that's when they started filming it. So 64 through 2005, and that's it. And she has she knows that that means that if you segment that in how many episodes and movies and stuff, your number is 735. So we're calling it the 735 Club. What we haven't calculated is when we will be done, and that's probably terrifying. I don't know. So I don't know if we don't miss a week, a Saturday night. I don't know when we'll be done, but there's someone way better at math than and that's on you, Mark D, with the see if you're not here yet, bro. You're my engineer buddy now, so I'm counting on you, man, to come up with that number so you can scare us. But actually, it won't scare us because we're having a wonderful time doing it.
Yes, you always do seem to be having the best time, and so does the chat as well.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, and I'm so happy that they do that. We interact with them, and it is a blast on Saturday nights. I just love that we started doing this. So, thank you so much. There are when you're too sweet. Steve Mitchum, brother. Oh, and D. Bud Martin. The one of Eric K. Oh, Eric, the great Eric K's here. Eric K. Look, you have one of the members of the comic book conspiracy cabal. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Are you familiar with that, Purple?
I'm not. No, try saying that 5 times fast.
Yes, the comic shop conspiracy cabal. That is Mr. Eric K. He is a conspiracy. He thinks that we former comic shop owners are planning something. We are conspiring to do something because D-Bud, of course, my new friend D-Bud, is great. Not only a great friend of the show, he is, of course, a former comic shop owner himself. As are.
So, Clubby, are you saying that this rumor that is going around and has persisted about you being the owner of a comic book shop was in fact true?
I can neither confirm nor deny. If I told you all, I would have to kill all of you, or at least blow up the universe or something. And then, that's not my job to blow up the universe. Let's see here. Who else is with this? Oh, Stephen Thompson. Hello there, Stephen Thompson. Thank you for being here. Good to see you, D-Bud, brother, by the way. And now I promise. I have my chat backed up so I can catch everybody. I'm sure Eric is already putting the theories in there now. If we're all here yet. Let's see. Bop, bop, bop. And again, good to see Eric K., the Bronze Surfer. Good to see you, brother. Raymond Feliciano, what's up, my friend? Yes, he'll join me. He'll join me Wednesday night. And there are links in my description below to his literary works. Let's see here. Bop and bop and bop. Pat S. brother. All right, a local. Well, for me anyway. Oh, well, love to Sandra there, RN. Thank you. Brightest Day. What's up, buddy? See if we got caught up here. I hope I didn't miss anyone. I got a couple more. Hey, Too Much 77. Hello there. It is great to have you here. It's the first time I've seen you here. I don't recognize the name. Welcome. It is an honor to have you here. Let's see. Bop and a 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 bop. I like to at least acknowledge everyone as they come in. On Saturday nights we do it all. We do beginning and end. We say hello. Zach 7. Hello there. Welcome, sir. And I think we are caught up. Yep, there it is. I knew it.
There it is. I see it.
No. Yeah. Wait. If Dark Shadow Logan shows up, he's going to start a conspiracy theory because he's also a former comic shop owner there. So, and I think you had to be an owner though. If you just worked in one, I'm not sure if that works.
That doesn't count. Okay. I just wonder what the criteria is.
I've done both. I've worked and ran others for other people and owned one. So I'm definitely. I am, of course, the Don. I hope. I don't know why though, because I think D-Bud should be the leader because he was out on the West Coast where they had actual bunches of people and customers. I was in BF, nothing garbagey, Louisiana. So. It was a small market. In fact, we didn't have a shop here. We did that panel the other day. I was telling you about comic shops in the 80s. We didn't have a shop here till I helped start it with someone in 1982. So a comic shop, what's that? We didn't know what that was. Oh my goodness. But
I can't think of a better time to have been running a comic book store though in the 80s.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what.
Amazing.
It was fantastic, and of course, as we were talking a little bit, and we're going to get into Iconicon a little bit. As you know, Purple, Iconicon was this past week, Wednesday through this past Sunday, and look, I have so many people to thank that I'm going to just try to hit everyone, get a mention out there for everyone, because I was going to do a video about it, but I ended up with too much going on today. Actually, I was so wasted after yesterday. I did very little today. I got to be honest. I slummed it. That's not unusual for me. But anyway, I just was really tired for some reason. For doing no actual real work, I was pretty tired.
Well, I don't know. I think people don't realize how much multiple streams can take it out of you.
It does, doesn't it? And it's not physical at all, other than bending your body up on a desk, and it really hurts after a while. It's not, physical labor of any sort, but it's emotional draining, even if you're having a good time, I guess.
Yes, you get that emotional high, and then
yes,
you kind of relax again, and then you've probably got another stream that you go to, and it's up and down.
Yes, absolutely. My friends, I started on this journey around a year ago. On YouTube, as everyone knows, because I blurt it out, I say it so much, it's probably annoying. I was on a different platform, Blog Talk Radio, for 11 years and 700 episodes. And so I've done this for a long time, but this is a total different ball game. And so when I came over here, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know I was going to make any friends. I've always tried. I've made a few friends on BTR Purple. I made a few friends. That two of them that you've met Flash. Well, you've been on with Flash. I'm a good buddy for Flash.
Yeah, great.
We did shows together for he's amazing. He's a wonderful friend. And I met his son before that, actually, and they were both doing shows. And his son and I became very friendly. And then Flash started doing shows with us, and we did shows together for many years. So at least 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 years, or something like that. Whatever it was. And I did it was whether it was the son Matt or whether it was Flash, I always wanted to have him on there with me, which is because it's always fun to have someone ride shotgun with you if they're good at it, and it can't just be anyone. It's got to be someone that you have a rapport with and you bounce off of very well, as you well know. And but other than that, I knew I was networked with another. We had a couple shows. I had friends on there. Don't get me wrong, but. Like for example, when they started up in the price on the rent, if you will, or the fee, I networked with another show, and we never really we crossed over. Sometimes we were friendly, but we just shared codes so we could get the thing half off price, because it wasn't cheap on BTR. So we networked, but he did his own thing and I did mine, and we just shared the time, But other than that, you don't meet a lot. You don't run into a lot of other people. Maybe one or two other people from other shows, but it just wasn't the same. So when I came over here, of course, my son had been bugging me for a couple of years to move over to YouTube. Mark D with the C, what's up, bro? He'd been bugging me to come over here. Louis X Sparrow. Oh, great to see you. Thank you for being here. So I moved. I resisted like a jerk, and then finally just broke down. Mark, you worked at Dragon's Lair, and I've been to that shop. So, you're in the cabal because I've been there. We've met. I don't know if we met. I don't know if you were there or not. But I'm not Dragon's Lair. That's a different shop, Golden Dragon, and I'm not gonna say the city, but I've been there as well. So, Mark, you're in. Mark, that means Mark the Infinitely Tired, of course.
This cabal is just getting bigger and bigger.
It's getting bigger and scarier. But over here, Purple, when I didn't think I would, meet and make a lot of great friends. I just didn't even expect it. I didn't know what to expect. I was absolutely. If you told me a year ago I'd have so many people that I'd really have so much fun with, that I'd be friends with, I did not have a clue. I didn't get it. And I'm sure a lot of people can tell you the same thing when they started their channels.
How did you find the transition? Did you find it easier? Do you like the setup of YouTube? or do you prefer the way that you had it before?
I love this so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Blog Talk Radio was a glitchy bitchy. I'm going to tell you something. Um, one of the things that my friends at Blog Talk Radio, like people, my listeners and friends, and that used to love. I mean, they actually, some of the sick bastards loved the glitchiness because I would get on and yell and scream like a maniac at how pissed off I was. This is like the other day on my Iconicon panel Saturday. My computer cut out in the middle of a damn sentence I was making on a panel I was sitting on. And for like 10 minutes, I was so, oh my God. So BTR used to do the kind of crap to me all the time. This was my computer in this case, but BTR was very glitchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had oh my God, and I was yelling. And I would say stuff that I would thought they would get, and they don't monitor everything, but sometimes they do. And they pretty much let you say it because they know they were screwed up. Agent Decibel, good to see you. But BTR, oh man, I'd yell at him so much sometimes. And complaining did no good, but I did it anyway. Oh my God. So I was ready to get out of there. And yet I miss, there were some good things about it. The anonymity is interesting. But so I get over here. And when I start out, of course, did a couple shows with our, by the way, this is Monday Night Mark C Comic Talk, everyone. I forgot to say that. My good buddy, Mark C, that we named the show after for Monday nights. We started doing, he did some shows with me, a few shows here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually did a bunch of shows with me, but early on, he did a couple with me early on as well. And I didn't know what to expect. But there were a couple that I did by myself as well. And I just went on there. I just kind of, I did some test things and then finally just jumped on. I didn't know what to do. And that's how the first person I met over here was Paulie. Everyone, that is, of course, the great Paulie of Latino Slant. And there's a link in the chat below. My good friend. He has been just such a fantastic pal. And I love Paulie.
Paulie's a great guy. He really is.
He is good people. And I again, like I think they said, the first person he met was our good buddy Mexican Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
And now before that, though, about a year or so before that, in early 2019, I had interviewed Doomcock on there, but that was way before I came on here, right? He'd been on with me on my channel over there. And then I had Eris on one time, but other than that, I didn't have any YouTubers over there. Other than that, our wonderful friend Eris, but so Mexican Iron Man Hamlet, and then he had me on. Doomcock was nice enough to have me on his show a couple times, but he kind of said you ought to move to YouTube, but my son was also bugging me to move to YouTube. But anyway, other than him, I didn't know anybody, and I met Paulie, and then I started meeting people. And you know what? I hate to say it. I can't remember exactly how I got. I used to listen to Loki, but I don't know exactly how we got to be friendly. But I don't know what made him ask me to be on his DC panel.
Mm-hmm.
DC, remember the DC.
Oh yes, yeah. That DC panel
thing?
was a hell of a thing, but it was like a springboard for so many people. It kind of drew in this huge kind of community, and it just kind of blossomed from there.
Yes. And again, I don't know I can't remember how we got to be friendly or not. He just asked me on there, but we'd probably, I don't know if we'd been into each other's chats or whatever, and made friends with him. And then, of course, I think that's where I met you. And I met 24 a little bit before that. We'd met, I think we'd done I actually had him on. Darth Haster, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, bud. And then, oh my goodness. Just started meeting all of our friends that we have now, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I did a show with most on my show was when I would have Mark C on. I try to get Flash when Flash is doing a lot, but I try to get him when I can, as you know. But I was just mostly me. That's the way I've always done it. But once in a while, I always used to like to get Flash on when I could. And that's where I started seeing so many wonderful friends in the chat. I don't know how they found me, but the great Mark D with a C, who's now become a really good buddy. And so I don't know how it all unfolded, Purple, but I know that's how I met you, and that's how I met Loki. And Loki just is such a wonderful guy. He's been so great to me. And he helped that intro, of course. He didn't have to do that. He's a busy man. He's been the best, and I got to thank him for having me on his show today. And I thank everyone for your friendship and everyone who hangs out here. Everyone, all of you in the chat, you mean more to me than you could know, and I can't express it. But you hanging out with me is why I'm here. I do this for fun. It's what it's for. Sure, I'd like to do it all the time. Well, I do it all the time right now because of certain circumstances.
You
But I mean,
do it all the time.
yeah, and I would, but just doing it, all I get out of it is fun. But that's fine. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm not glad I hit 1,000. I wanted to. I'm glad I did. And, I'll monetize like everyone else does. Of course, I won't make a big deal about it, but I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But the day it stops being fun, I'm out of here. I don't need it that bad.
That's the best possible way to look at it.
I mean, it's not that I wouldn't love it, but I mean, I don't need it put it like this. I will never need this enough to compromise who I am about it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you about what I think and try to be as friendly and be friends with everyone. Well, thank you so much, Arwen. I really appreciate that. But I'm never going to, and a lot of people on here are very much themselves and some aren't. I'm just going to be my dumb self because I don't know how to be anyone else anyway. I wish I could, by the way. I wish I could be someone else. I don't like being me. It's no fun. But it's not as much fun as I know all of you lucky people have. Especially Lord Thoth. I'd trade with him in a heartbeat. That dude's like James Bond. I mean, I want to be him.
Lord Thoth is very, very cool. But we wouldn't want you to be anybody else, Clobby. We love you for who you are. Oh,
you're too kind. But can I, just for like a weekend, can I be Lord Thoth? Like,
you'd have to ask Lord Thoth.
Yeah, and if I'll ask him, Lord LT, Avon lives long live the Legion, brother. And if not, and by the way, that's not the slight R in Feliciano. Raymond, I'd be Raymond too. I'd be Raymond for a weekend. I'd be Eric K for a weekend as well. There's so many of you I would be instead of me. You just don't know. But you're all fantastic, and but I've known Michael and Melinda from Retro Blasting for 10 years now. And we met at Dragon Con in 2011. I've told you all about that. But they, before he was doing anything like podcasting, before many people were doing podcasting, really, he started his channel around 2012. But in 2011, he started doing shows with me, and he's done many shows with me. And of course, he's grown his channel. It's a huge channel. And they're just like, we get along so well because they're the same way. They won't compromise. They're going to be themselves. The hatred he gets for just criticizing a freaking cartoon. I'm not kidding you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we've talked about this, how the hatred they get for criticizing a toy or whatever.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the vitriol from some people just for stating an opinion.
And I've told Michael this the other day. I've told him many times and said, dude, remember, I always tell you, the one surefire way to make an enemy, have an opinion. That's it. You want somebody to hate you, have an opinion. Or to be angry with you. If you want them to hate your guts intensely, then express the opinion well and thoughtfully and be able to back it up. Then they'll hate you beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
They will. And again, that used to be like serious stuff, politics and this, what have you. Now it's just freaking geek crap that they'll hate your guts. And it's strange. It's a strange immaturity, but yeah. And he gets a lot of this. He's got a new video he premiered for Ted Millich. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. That he premiered for Iconicon this past Friday called about the old 80s cartoon Bionic 6. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I know of it. I don't think I've ever watched it.
I've never watched it either. I think it's like 65 episodes of pure torture for him. And he reviewed it. And his review of, because he doesn't get political anyway, but he doesn't have to. He can get the hate either way. Captain 300 sub Spock. Oh, thank you for the congrats there. Thank you. Another cool friend of the show who has a link to his Captain 300 sub Spock needs more subs. I mean, I want him to have more subs. Whether he wants them or not, I want those for him. So please, everyone, there's a link in the description below to his and the YouTube channels of many wonderful friends. And he is a good dude. It's always good to see you, Captain. And I try to do an impression of his accent, but I can't do it. He's a good dude. I try though, Captain. I was trying to say the blue smart lady like you do. He calls Raquel the blue smart lady, but I can't do it, man. But we appreciate seeing you, man. So Yeah, he tears it to pieces. And people get mad at him because they watched it as a kid. Like, look, he didn't see it as a kid, by the way, in this case. But anyway, Michael and Melinda have been fantastic. And they put on Iconicon, this virtual convention, so that many of their friends with channels could have a good time. They could have a good time with them and talk about the things they love, especially about 80s pop culture. But also, he wanted to help everyone's channel because they are very loving people. They have been some of the greatest friends I've ever had. And, that's what I was sitting at a certain spot, and Conicon helped me out. And of course, he's helped me out before. He's helped me out so many times just by being on the channel. And I love Michael and Melinda. Melinda, I know I hope you both are getting rest out there, so you're probably not hearing this, but I don't care. I love you both. You're two of the greatest friends I had, and I miss you. It's been a long time since we've been able to hang out in person, but they come on the show, when I get them on, and I'll have Michael on again soon. And you guys are great. I hope you're getting some rest. What a great job you did with the Iconicon. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Well done, guys. I caught a few of the shows, and they were some of the panels were brilliant.
They had, for fans of The Last Starfighter, for example, they had the actors from that and Night of the Comet. Remember that movie?
Oh, I remember Night of the Comet, yeah.
Yeah, the two young ladies from that film were there. There she is, Melinda. Oh, Melinda, I love you, and thank you so much for what you've done for me. And you are just one of my most wonderful friends in the world. And yeah, I hope you're getting some rest. And what a great job you all did with Iconicon. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. You're the best. And if Michael's around there, smack him upside the head for me for no particular reason. See, Michael gets so much crap from people that I was telling him the other day, I said, you know why? I pick on all my friends, as you know. I never pick on Michael because that's Melinda's job. And everyone else gives him so much crap anyway. But I love you, Michael. You're the man. But yeah. But they're the best. And Con was just terrific. I was so embarrassed, though. Like I was telling you, Purple. Saturday, I was on the James Bond of the 80s panel.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well, thanks, him. And my friggin' computer went out. Oh, my God. Right in the middle of a sentence. I mean, it didn't even wait for while someone else was talking. God damn. It'll probably do it tonight.
Technology. It's always the way.
This is an old computer, but it'll see that night that it happened when you were on with me, and that was in bad weather, and the internet went out.
Yes, that was the storm. Yeah.
This was the computer just being a jackass. And I wanted to put my fist through it.
It was its subtle way of telling you that you've done too many streams in a row.
But I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop. Well, because we did one right, and I did that with the Bond one, and right after that, did the Return of the Jedi one. And they were some really good. I got to meet a lot of good dudes. I got, of course, Alex with Infinity Equation is a great dude. I love Conrad with movie Obulet. I can't say it right. Obulet. Oh man, but Obulet. There you go. I'm an idiot. He had a great fellow, Dante over there as well. Dante's a great dude, and they were all just sensational. And all those panels were. I didn't get to catch all of them, but I caught a bunch of the panels when I was on the run here and there. And of course, got to be on those ones, and I got to do this one. And yeah, there's Mark D put up. Thanks, brother. If you can, all those are on Oubliette. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. And there, look, if any of you missed any of those panels, they're up. Those streams are now. Some were live streams, some were pre-recorded videos, but they're all up there now. They are fantastic. If you're anywhere close to a fan of anything in the 80s, go look there. You'll probably find something for you. You'll probably find a stream that you'll like. And there was, in fact, a couple I haven't been able to watch yet that I plan to watch. And there was even one or two. I'm like, wow, I wish I'd have thought of doing that panel.
Same. There's a few I need to catch up with as well. So that's what I'll be doing over the next couple of days. But they did an amazing job. Really, really, really did.
Yes. Pat S. Are there Iconicon T-shirts? I love the icon. I don't know if there. Yeah, but I think there are Iconicon. I don't know if they're for official personnel or not. I mean, but I don't know. Too late. No pun intended. I'm sorry. The pun's there. Purple. A new movie came out recently that you talked about today, so we don't have to talk about it, but we can if you want to.
We can cover it if you like. Absolutely. I'm
Not a
always
bit-
always
big deep dive.
curious to see what people think of it. Definitely.
I think it's called Widow. Black Widow. That's it. The
Pointless Widow. Yeah.
the new MCU film that is, I guess, in theatres and streamings and such, right?
Yes, and anywhere else that you can find a yeah.
Arg. I arged it. I'll admit.
So did I.
Search on the website. Thank you, Melinda. What can you do? But I watched it though, and I gotta be honest with you. I didn't really think it was anything I didn't think it was that bad. I just didn't think it was that good. I mean, it did. I mean, I mean, there are a lot of their films and their shows that I despise far more.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit late. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I always think, am I going to rewatch it? If I say no, then it's a fail for me. The fact that this is the first film for Phase 4, this is their, launching in film. I think it fell a little bit flat, and I think I said it today on the show as well. If you're not a fan of the TV shows that are coming out, this was in very much the same vein as the TV shows.
Yes, it kind of felt like that. Actually, I think the movie had some strengths. I mean, I thought it was okay. I just didn't really think it distinguished itself. And yes, we don't want to get super political here, but you can't. That's their fault because they politicize everything. Mm-hmm. It had some of the. And by the way, I'm going to get in trouble with the blue smart lady. Raquel is the grammar police, and she hates the term woke. Okay, Melinda, love you. Thank you so much. Continue to get some rest, my friend. I love you. You're the best. And hey to Michael. She hates the word woke because it's bad grammar. It's made up crap. But I also tell her, look, if there's no really, that's the word that's being used. So I mean, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So good.
I would say it was woke. I would say it's patronizing as well. I think we could have had a much better film had they, decided which direction they were going to take it in. And hello to the boss.
Yo, low-key, brother. We're just talking about you, bro. You're the man. Thank you so much, man. You've been a great pal. I appreciate being on this morning. And Just Joe, the great jobber, a friend from the old BTR days. We were talking BTR a little while ago, buddy. Good to see you, man. What you were saying?
Just that, we could have had a much better film if they'd just concentrated on. I think even Loki mentioned it this morning. The film that people really wanted was the story between Black Widow and Hawkeye. What happened in Budapest, and
yeah, that would have been better.
That would have been a perfectly fine film. You could have fitted in just fine continuity wise. But what we got was a lot of man bad, woman good.
Yeah, there's some of that crap in there. I mean, I think I've seen it to far greater degrees than other stuff, especially of late. Mm-hmm. It's there. I actually thought the film, when it's just focusing on its characters, was not too bad. I like some of the character-driven stuff, especially. Look, Red Guardian's a dope, of course. I mean, he's an idiot, but in this thing, because David's typecasting for that idiot David Harbour. But he was kind of funny. And I thought and not only that, he had kind of an arc to him as well. I mean, the whole point about all the stuff about the fake family thing then when they get together around that table finally all these years later, even though they're a fake family, it's the closest they've got to. I thought some of that stuff was compelling. I thought the first half of the film was not bad and doing a fairly decent job of setting things up. Mm-hmm. I thought, again, I'll tell you this, Purple. When nowadays the zeitgeist is when you have a movie of that magnitude coming out and it's a lightning rod for controversy because it's been made that way by Disney and Kevin Feige and all those people, because they politicized everything with their MCU. They have, not us fans, they have. Then it has this tendency to be a lightning rod for controversy, and then if you don't see it immediately. And Nick Weiser, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. A lot of people are going to almost immediately they're going to be going in going in expecting a dumpster fire because of what's been going on with the MCU. How could you not at this point?
Mm-hmm.
It's no way.
Do you think it was a kind of knee-jerk reaction, or do you think it's in this case justified the way that people are kind of lackluster? I think is most people's response.
Yeah. I think if Overboard really saying it's really unbelievably terrible, I would say would be a knee-jerk reaction. To say it's really wonderful and fantastic would also be one. If you're kind of keeping it on an even keel in the middle, saying like if you like some stuff in it and didn't, if you're being fair to it and judging it as a piece of entertainment, even if it does have stupid woke crap in there, then I think that's the way you have to go about it. So in other words, I say a lot of people, it's the worst piece of crap ever. Well, it's not, to me, it's not even near the worst MCU movie ever as far as just crap. But I just
agree with that. Yeah, because there was some of the MCU films that I haven't seen because I had no interest in seeing them. At least this one I actually sat down and watched, even though I did debate, is it worth reviewing? Is it something that I really want to, shine a light on? But then I thought, well, if we could always talk about Scarlett Johansson's ridiculous comments.
So. Right. But they shouldn't. You got to divorce that from whether the movie's any good if you can. Daryl the Derelict, good to see you, my friend. Nick, I'm glad to see you, buddy. So I guess what I'm saying is everyone must come. I made a mistake of waiting a little bit to see it. And you can't do that with social media these days because I think we can be colored. Not everyone, but me. I'll tell you, I'm guilty of being colored sometimes when I go in to see one way that, for example, let's say I wait a couple of days and a movie comes out and everyone says it's the most magnificent, terrific thing they've ever seen, right? Mm-hmm. And I go see it like, oh, everyone's saying it's great. Not always, but sometimes I'll go in and I'll watch it. I'll go, I don't know. What's all the fuss about? Maybe I let it get to me. I mean, it was okay. And sometimes I don't like, for example, I'll go against the tide. I didn't like Joker like everyone else did. And people in our, I guess, what you want to sphere? What do you want to call it there? The people who are a lot of YouTubers adjacent to us, and we all are, in the same sort of, I don't know if you call it a community or whatever you want to call it. They were just thinking it's the greatest film ever made.
Yeah, but, I call it a community. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So many people saying how wonderful and great it was. I went and saw it the first, second day, and I don't like it. But it's nothing to do with them in that case. However, everyone was talking about it like it's the greatest thing ever. Well, and that works the other way sometimes. Someone will say, enough people say, this is the worst piece of crap ever. And boom, they're going to throw it in there. They're going to make the reviews about how it's horrible and all the wokey crap and all this kind of crap. And that makes me going, oh, boy, this is going to be rough. But I'll watch it anyway because I want to form my own opinion. Nevertheless, that's still in the back of my head. Mm-hmm. I can't get it out. Maybe some of you have abilities to do that. It's tougher I think it's tough for some people to get that out of your head when you're watching it. But I try. So I'm sitting there, but you can't help it. So you're sitting there expecting to see the most laughable, horrible, unbelievably stupid piece of crap you've ever seen in your life, a la Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I really think is. I'm thinking it's going to be that level and piss me off that much. I'm waiting to be pissed off because of all these things I've heard from people, right? Mm-hmm. So I watch it. I'm like, yeah, that's first of all, whatever woke garbage is in there, and it's in there. The characters aren't written that way. The characters are actually written like characters. Now it's too late. The movie's too late. It should have been done, 5-6 years ago. We all agree on that.
Yes.
But Black Widow's no Mary Sue or anything like that. Her sisters no Mary Sue. They're credible characters that get smacked around like everybody else, and they have issues. Yeah, they do silly stuff, but it's a superhero. I mean, it's not superhero. It's a Marvel Comics movie, so they do crazy, fantastic stuff. So that's fine.
Yes, there were little moments of self-realization as well. Where she's kind of poking fun at her for doing the where she flips her hair back and poses. I thought that was actually pretty funny. Yeah, again, it had some of the humor worked, and it humanized them a little bit because these are people coming from really terrifying backgrounds when you think about it. Mm-hmm. So again, here's another thing about the quote unquote woke stuff. Okay, that I think that people need to take into account when they review things. A lot of people, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but I do think a lot of people are acting like the woke crap started 3 years ago. In terms of propaganda-filled entertainment out of Hollywood. I got a little bit of news for you, folks. In some subtle ways, it's been there for 50 years.
not 4 years, not 5 years. Okay. And if I don't like it, I'm not saying I like it. What I'm saying is, because Hollywood is largely comprised of those making the creative decisions, of people injecting their ideologies into films. They just used to be a little more subtle about it, and they also cared more about making their bottom line and making something that people want to watch.
Yes.
There's the big difference.
Yes, you know, it's more about pushing an idea or an agenda rather than, making money.
Well, see, the thing is, they were cleverer back then because the agenda was there. But they also knew that we're not going to get that agenda out if you see it. I mean, it's like if you see the punch coming, you're going to dodge it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they want to punch you in the back of the head, not in the face. That's what Hollywood did for 50-something years. They were at least smart enough to do that. And when I would watch something, whether it was a film or whether I would read a comic or whether I would read a book by people who I know don't really fall in line with my values, and that's not everyone even in Hollywood, but it's there, right? I can name you countless films that I would watch, and there would be a line here or two, or a message here or two, or a way a character or a whole type of person was portrayed that would make me roll my eyes and go, oh, God. This is not new to me. This has been happening. But I can still walk away going, I really liked that film. Yeah, it had this crap, that crap, but I sure really liked it. Some of my favorite films have that kind of crap in it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there were better filmmakers. They actually had a bottom line to meet, and they realized that if we chase people away, they're not going to watch our crap, and it won't matter what we preach because we won't make any money anyway. They've lost that. Now they don't know that. Now they're just stupid. Now they're just not smart enough to do that. So there's not a lot of subtlety in what they do, right? So you watch compared to Captain Marvel and WandaVision even, and Falcon Winter Soldier, Black Widow is more subtle than that, but it still has the woke crap in there. But it's still more subtle. It's got a few things. For example, I've heard a lot of people talk about the idiot, the villain or whatever. He's an evil white man doing horrible stuff to women. Yeah, but that's been going on in movies forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, was it symbolic to these writers? I'm sure they thought they were all brilliant with their symbolic message. But that's been around, that storyline of a white man doing that shit, to the whole Red Room. They stole all that stuff. That's not from. They didn't make up all the stuff about the Black Widow Red Room or any of that stuff.
Well, to be honest, I would have been fine with him being the villain, portraying that way, but make him interesting. He just wasn't compelling enough.
You know why? Because we see him for 5 minutes. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
No build up for him, like Loki and other characters and other villains. So they spend the whole time, which is great and all, with Scarlet and her crew. They did a good job of building up those characters, but they did nothing for the villain. And then they just plop him on you for the last 10 minutes. And you're like, that's not going to work. That's a bad story narrative.
I just think it was a really odd casting choice. I usually like Ray Winston, but he cannot do accents.
Jesus.
Yeah, he can't do accents. He couldn't do an accent on The Expanse, and he certainly can't do.
That's who that guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really recognize him.
I like him as an actor. It's not one of his strengths. He just sounds like Ray Winston in every role he plays.
Okay. I don't know much about him. But again, he's a lame and weak villain, but he wasn't set up. I mean, most of the villains have, at least in the better MCU films, have been set up fairly well. They did nothing for this one. And therefore, when you meet him, you're like, okay, he was a monster and he did shitty things to people. Whatever. You don't care. I mean, even a bad villain, you care. In my opinion, they did a good job with the character of Loki until they ruined him on a TV show. In his movies, right? The Red Skull, or in some of these MCU, because in my opinion, they've been very deficient with their villains in the MCU on balance, anyway, with a few exceptions. Even though I hated what they did with Ultron's origin, I mean, at least they gave him some character.
Yes, I really liked what they did with Ultron. I've got to admit, I thought he did really well.
Yes, and Spader did a great job. Thanos is again, they give you a lot of context to Thanos. Mm-hmm. They don't give you anything on this guy.
Loki, up until the TV show,
yes,
he had a fantastic build-up,
right?
Which is why people love the character,
right? And you get nothing for this dude. We just know did nasty things to people. Great. You need more than that if anyone's going to care about. If your villain is there for your hero, and your film is hurt if it's heroic fiction, in this case, or your protagonist. No one was really very heroic in this film. They were all monsters anyway. Pretty much, they were all monsters. But your baddie, has to be. You have to fill that baddie out, or you're not going to get anywhere. What if Doctor Doom? What if they actually had a real Fantastic Four movie that wasn't going to be garbage, though it will, and Doctor Doom pops up for 5 minutes at the end? What good would that do?
They wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, they don't tell you anything about him. So that's Doctor Doom. Boom. Okay, whatever. What if in Tim Burton's '89 Batman movie, the Joker just pops up as the Joker for 5 minutes at the end? That's it. Well, okay. Who's this guy? Who cares? Who cares? What if Darth Vader doesn't pop up in Star Wars until the end, like for 5 minutes? You have to work on your villain.
Well, we've had this conversation in the past as well. It's like you say, a hero is only as good as the villain, and if you don't, get some background, you don't care.
Yes.
I mean, you're not supposed to identify with the villain, but you can sympathize with them, and you can still like them.
Yes, and you like them because you kind of. We all have that twinge in us, or like, he's mischievous. Yeah, he's horrible and rotten, but he has charisma. This one has no charisma. And the other problem is Taskmaster. I hate what they did to Taskmaster anyway. But forget for a second the stupid, gender swap that they did to Taskmaster. Mm-hmm. They didn't even, gender swap or not, it's meaningless because they gave no substance to that character either. Even if you're a normie that doesn't know about Taskmaster and you're just there to watch the movie, where do you get any feeling for Taskmaster? Because we don't find out. Remember, we don't find out that it's Flash. Good to see you, bro. We don't find out that it's what's his name's daughter. And that should tell you something right there. I'm calling him what's his name until the last reveal, right?
Yes.
So we've got nothing for Taskmaster. They fight once, and of course we know it's a dude in the costume.
Oh yeah. It was a guy. Yeah.
So they fight once, and that's where this movie falls apart. I really did like a lot of the character stuff and even some of the early action's okay. It starts out fairly strong, fairly promising. It's an okay, like of a kind of a gritty, like a spy thriller, but you're putting it in the Marvel universe. Some of that stuff's okay. There's really almost zero of any kind of wokey crap at that point. It's just telling you a story. They do set up that it's right after Civil War.
Mm-hmm. They can do serious Marvel films because they've done them before. Like Civil War was serious.
Right.
The one with Bucky, Winter Soldier, was a very serious tone. Right. So they don't always have to be light-hearted and jokey. And this could have gone in that direction, and I think it still would have been fine.
No, but I don't mind a little humor, and I don't think they went too overboard with it. But again, I'll tell you what the first big chink in the armor of the film happened for me. And again, like I guess I say it was okay because I've seen way worse. I don't really think it's all that good. I just don't think it's all that bad. I don't think the movie was as bad as a lot of people say. I think it was all right. But when get to the prison to break numbnuts out of there, Red Guardian. And by the way, I wonder if that line when they think he's lying about meeting Captain America, that's a setup or something that he met a different time traveling Captain America in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be. But anyway, that whole scene's just messy and it's absolutely poorly filmed and just you don't really. It's not a big. You're thinking this is gonna be some big, either a big spectacular breakout of him in the prison, or they would sneak him out somehow. Well, they're gonna do it the noisy way, and this. It really does not. It is just clumsy. It's a terrible scene.
Not only that, they've technically just killed a bunch of people because they dropped
an avalanche with an avalanche. Yeah, they're not heroes.
They can't get out.
They avalanched a bunch of people to break one jackass out of there. So that was pretty stupid. Yeah, it was like okay, and again, but. When this film, to me, it's at its strongest when it settles down and the characterization takes place. Like I really did like the scene at the house when they're all in there and just finding out that there was all a big fake and they're all crazy and they're all bad and yet they're all each other has. And some of that I thought was worthwhile.
Yes, I thought the cast had good chemistry. I think they played off each other really well. I thought it was done well as family. I just think the way that I look at it, would you have gone to see it at the cinema, or are you sad that you didn't see it at the cinema?
I didn't. Yeah, in my case. Oh, you were being rhetorical. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've seen every single quote unquote Marvel MCU, whatever MCU for a while now. Film at the theater until this one, and I won't be. And now that, not just because I sailed the high seas. Let's say it, if I had argued it and then really, really liked it, I might have went to the theater to watch it. Even though I don't like to support Disney, I had to hear crap from my son about that. Like, you went to give Disney money, screw you. But I'm saying, in all things being equal, though,
yes,
if I really, really thought it was just really, really good, I would go, yeah, I go see it on the big screen. Now I don't care. And again, I don't even hate it. A lot of people hate it. I'm like, I thought it was okay. I just never really want to watch it again.
I don't hate it. I just think it could have been better.
I hate elements of. You know what I really hate about it? I hate what they did to Taskmaster, but that's not Taskmaster. It's like I don't even care. I thought I would care more about that. I don't give a crap. I hated the ending credit sequence with a passion. I mean, after credits.
Yeah, that was kind of pointless.
And we know they're setting. First of all, how does she know? First of all, he is not. I know she's lying, but what's his face? Hawkeye's not responsible for Black Widow's death, but I know she's just saying that, right? I get it, but how does she know anyway? Where'd they get the info about that?
Yes,
I mean, I doubt. I seriously doubt. I don't know. Maybe they've had to make a report to the world and show what happened to her. I don't know. Maybe so. I'll tell you what really was a little another dumb scene was when she's letting them all leave at the end and she's waiting for. Why is she waiting for Thunderbolt Ross there?
Instead of leaving with them, yes.
Right. Would it have killed him to have a scene, little tag on scene there? I mean, audience would have liked it if they a Quinjet or a Wakandan jet shows up because she says something about I got to go break some friends out of prison. So we know what she's talking about. This is when they go break. But this is weeks later. Did we tell me, according to this movie now, Cap let Sam, Scott, and Wanda rot in prison for weeks and weeks and weeks, according to this timeline. But anyway, how about a Wakandan jet shows up and picks her up, and it's Cap. So because we got to get her out of here. But no, a little cameo wouldn't have hurt you guys. No one would have minded. So it's a messy ending. I don't mind there being a sky fortress like some people say. It's just, again, the whole movie. I guess you hit on it. It didn't make me want to watch it again. Yeah,
there was nothing memorable about it. I didn't hate it. I just think it was kind of a mediocre film. I think it was kind of a weak film for this to be a springboard into the next phase.
Right.
I don't think this is going to get a lot of people unless you are an absolute diehard MCU fan that excited. And if you do, well, you're more likely you're going to be a fan of the film, but you're a fan of the TV shows as well, so it's not really going to factor.
Yeah, I guess I would say on balance I liked the movie a little bit because I thought for the first half or so and with other characterization bits, I thought it showed a lot of promise, and then it just kind of went nowhere for me. So I think it's extremely flawed. But I thought, and actually there's more's the pity because they with a lot of tweaking to that script, they could have made it better. But as far as the woke crap, this stupid crap in there. But then, if you want to play that game, I can do that with probably the last 5 or 6 MCU movies too that are worse.
Yeah, the message that they were trying to get across was kind of muddled, and I get what they were trying to say. And yes, trafficking is a problem.
Right.
But there could have been a cleverer way of them doing it. For me, it was just the fact that I know the character is dead, so I didn't have any connection to what was going on screen because the character is no longer part of the MCU. We're watching something that's technically happened years in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Mark C says, I didn't see a big agenda would be. Well, I mean, I didn't see a big one, but I mean, there's stuff in there because these films are tainted by that. They have it. But Mark D, I agree with that. It's if anything, I'll have to give him points for being more subtle than crap like WandaVision and what you call it.
Is it subtle or is it just bad writing?
It was bad writing for sure, but I mean, in other words, it's not as in your. I guess I'm saying it's not as in your face as Falcon Winter Soldier. Holy shit! And even Loki isn't as in your face. Just dumb. Even it's not as in your face as Falcon Winter Soldier. And WandaVision toward the last couple episodes was really in your face with that crap.
Yeah, and I loved WandaVision up until about episode 5.
Yeah, I was fine with it till around there as well. And it's like, oh boy. And I got to be honest with you, though. I'm going to confess to you that I actually almost liked this last episode of Loki because I love Richard E. Grant and the stupid alligator.
Oh, I love Richard E. Grant.
Oh, I don't know if you watched that thing, but
I haven't. No, I've only just started episode 2. I mean, I'll pick.
I didn't mean to spoil it.
No, it's fine. I've saw it on Twitter. I knew what was going on. But I mean, I'm not in any rush to watch it, but I will watch it.
There's another show thing. I agree with a lot of the criticisms, and there's so stupidly wrong with it. But I kind of like that episode just because it's just Richard E. Grant should be Loki, and the alligator. I like the alligator. There's Daryl. Like the alligator made the. I like that stupid alligator. It was so friggin' stupid. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, the show's dumb anyway. May as well be funny. And it was actually made me smile that episode. And it wasn't as boring as the other ones. So, I don't know. But I'm not, it's just, I guess, the thing about, there was a lot of outrage about Black Widow that I heard before I saw it. And I guess that's why I'm kinder to it. I didn't really get outraged by it. I watched it. I didn't see any of the outrage warranted. I was on, well, like I said, with DC last night, Cameron Posh was on there. He really loves Black Widow, but which is fine. It's his opinion, and it's great. You know? He really loved it, and he went back to see it again last night. And I think that's perfectly fine if you loved it. There are a few people liking it. This is someone asked a question last night in this chat. Said this movie Black Widow is really dividing the fandom and the comic tape people. So like that. And I said and my answer was I don't know if it's dividing. Everyone is just one of those movies with mixed reviews. You either liked it or you didn't. But if you're being honest and you hated it, or you're being honest and you liked it, that's fine. That's all I ask. In other words, don't hate it because you think you have to. Just be honest.
And we'd never tell people, oh, this you have to hate this show or you have to hate this. But we'll say, make up your own opinions. I just found it kind of dumb, to be honest. Yeah. I don't think, like you say, it was particularly in your face. I didn't like any of the comments from the interviews that she did previously, and that kind of was in the back of my mind watching it. She's saying how women are underrepresented or underpaid, and I'm thinking, really, how much did you get paid for this film exactly? So I looked at it very cynically, to be honest.
Well, I don't blame you. It's terrible. She's an idiot.
Yes, she is.
In fact, by the way, Jack's mama, good to see you, my dear. That is, of course, Jack is our wonderful friend Mark C's son. So good to see you, my dear. That was dumb. It's just like, oh, by the way, you know what? And we would be remiss if we didn't congratulate Scarlett Johansson on being the first female in a movie ever in Hollywood.
Indeed, yes. That was quite an achievement. Well done to her.
No other women have ever been in a movie. Ever. In a film.
Other than Brie Larson, of course.
Other than, wow, that's true. So she's the second. Every other person.
Maybe that's why she was so pissed. That would explain it.
So this means, what what this means, right? Every movie or TV show you've seen since then it's been guys playing women. Playing female roles.
So they reversed it. That's why they had Taskmaster.
Yes. Yes.
Even though it was a guy in the suit.
It was so a guy in that suit.
It was, yeah. Well, the lady that obviously, once the helmet came off, you could tell that she was very slender, had a very slim build,
Right.
and it just looked really silly with her head CGI'd onto that suit.
Yes. Yeah. Marty with the C. Scarlett is so terribly underpaid. She's living in the van down by the river. Oh, wait. No, she owns her own damn river. As a matter of fact, probably she can have as many vans as she wants. So, yeah. Poor Scarlett.
Poor Scarlett. But she's moving on to other things, obviously. She wants to direct. So this was her swan song, as I look at it, for the MCU. But
Yes.
you think a character that had such an impact, do you think she would have gone out with like a blaze of glory, especially with the interview? She would have been saying how much this character meant to her,
Right.
How great it was, what a fantastic opportunity it was. But instead she decides to complain about being underpaid or underrepresented in an industry and I think that's what kind of stuck with people.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, Snort, that's true. The women, the girl, the three daughters of Petticoat Junction were actually men. A lot of people don't know that. No women have been in cinema except for Brie Larson and now Scarlett Johansson. That's just, they're all dudes. They're all special effects because we don't allow women to be in movies. Oh, God, so stupid. Yeah, and again, she's, like you say, she could have been celebrating this role. Mm-hmm. She could have been excited to be the character and this stuff, but now she's got to. But you know my theory on that, right?
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Hello, 48. Good to see you. I believe that remember, she's actually said a few things that kind of pissed off the wokes.
Oh yes, yep, she did. Yep.
Recently she has. I think that these people, once they reach a certain stage, when they'll never need to work again. They can, but they don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
They will never need for anything again. They get to a point where it's time to pay it backward, not forward, backward. And I mean, they have to pay their dues. That's why they get taken to the woodshed when they say something mildly sensible once in a while. Mm-hmm. They get taken to the woodshed. So they've got to. That's like Kevin Feige. I don't know the guy. I think he's an idiot in some sense. He got all these accolades for what has happened with the MCU, which I think is overrated. I think he's overrated for it. But fact is, you can't completely not success. They made a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but at first he was just making movies that people liked, and he was, and that was that. Well, then he got to this position. Now he will never. He's got enough money for 5 lifetimes. He'll never ever need to work again. But that doesn't mean they can't destroy him. So now that he's got his, it's time to pay the piper, and that's why he comes out with. That's why the MCU, just over the course of a few years, is being transformed by him into something to please the Hollywood mafia, the Hollywood crowd, that elite that wants their due. He got his, but you got to serve the Hollywood gods or devils, whatever you want to call them. And now that's what he's doing with his MCU. And he does it. And you can say, well, why would he do that? Doesn't he want to make money? He's got it all. The people who are calling the shots stand to lose nothing. Nothing. He could get fired tomorrow and it wouldn't mean a thing to him. Scarlett Johansson could say whatever she wants and get fired tomorrow, and it wouldn't mean a thing to him. But he still wants to make movies because he's just like anybody else. He doesn't want to be ostracized. And they could still get him, by the way. But he still wants to make movies. I mean, you can understand they're artists. She still wants to make movies. So she's got to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And playing the game means saying stupid shit that they want you to say.
Yes, and so that's kind of the problem, unfortunately. You have to kind of sell your soul. But it just kind of reinforces, at least in my mind, that actors should be seen and not heard because of all the stupid shit that comes out of their mouth sometimes. And it's probably not even their opinion, like you say. Somebody higher up has told them to say this.
Yeah. I mean, some of them actually believe this. A lot of them believe all of this crap. I'm not saying they don't, or they're not, but I'm saying law of averages. There are plenty of them that just probably just say, "Oh yeah, I'll just say it," and they go home. Oh, good God, and they don't care because they got their money. They don't really give a crap. Nothing's ever going to happen to them. They played the game. They're behind those fences of Hollywood, and screw everybody else. And that's where I think we are. Some of them, there's no way that all of them believe all of this stupid woke shit, although some do. A lot of them play the game because they don't live in the real world.
Let me ask you this though, because obviously as a comic book fan, now that we've got the first film for the Phase 4, are you excited for the rest of them? Are you looking forward to them? Or has this kind of taken a bit of the shine off it?
Thank you, Raymond. Good night, buddy. I'll see you Wednesday night, man. It's the shine's been gone. It's been gone since Endgame. And I've been watching kind of out of habit and curiosity. So yeah, I'm not only am I not looking forward to anything they do, I will probably watch Shang-Chi to talk about it. I'll probably watch Eternals to talk about it for some goddamn reason, but I'm not excited about it. Janet from another planet. Lovely to see you, my dear. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday. But no, I mean, in other words, if I miss them, it would matter. No, I don't know about. What about you? You care about any of these movies anymore? I don't care about What If either.
No, I don't care about What If either. No. To be honest, no. The only film that I kind of was hopeful for, or at least interested in, was the Doctor Strange, and I've heard bad things about that now. So I'm thinking, do I even want to see this? And then maybe Guardians 3 whenever that comes out.
Yeah, those are things. Again, I think I'll just. It's not. Look, I've always said I'll watch any old dopey crap once. There's the key word: once. I'll sit through any. Look, I sat through the piece of filth, Man of Steel, that Eric Kay likes to tease me about. If I'll sit through that filth once, it's just that now I won't go to the theater anymore. There's the difference. I went to see every single Marvel film at the theater, even past stupid, even Captain Marvel, and even Spider-Man: Far From Good. And I was really upset with a lot of things that happened in Endgame, but I saw them all. And this is the first time, Purple, that I did not, and I'm not going to the theater. I was talking to Mark, my buddy Mark. Mark went to the theater. I always, until all this crap, this lockdown shit started happening, because of my then work schedule. I used to enjoy going to movies when everything was open before all the coof. I used to like going to movies in the daytime, like 11 o'clock in the morning, and getting popcorn, being almost the only one in the theater to watch movies. I used to like to do that on a weekday.
Well, you could do that now, from what I've heard. Cause...
Now we can.
Yes.
For different reasons.
Yes.
Well, they're open back up now. But yes, you can do that now.
But nobody's going.
No, exactly. Nobody.
People on the opening night.
Well, you can do it opening night now.
Yeah.
Just like Captain Marvel. Yeah.
People that were there, for this Black Widow on opening night, they said, the theaters weren't full, even with the, the spacing and the precautions for the coof. They still hadn't sold out.
But they were paid for. In other words, totally with you. Like Flash says, I wasn't even aware this Black Widow movie was finally released. Yeah, well, there you go. But for $6, I could go watch it in the morning, like at 11 in the morning, sit there with some popcorn, and if it sucks, I'm like, I got to go sit at the theater and watch watch a movie and eat some popcorn. So that's not. I like doing that. Yeah, I like doing that on a weekday. And now I just didn't even bother with this time. I told Mark I might do that. Yeah, just so I'll get it over with. And I didn't even feel like it. I was like, it was just Thanks to Mark, I was able to watch it, but and I'm glad I didn't. Dave, what's up, buddy?
Yes, and he brings up a good point as well, because that's pretty much what I did. I had the film on, but I paused it, and then I went and got a drink, and then I unpaused it, and then I did something else. So I think I would have been, scrolling through my phone had I been at the cinema, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's just, and when they got these big nice seats now, and got like the chairs have a place for your drink, and some of them have like a table on them now and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here we got these cinema, like these cinema tavern type places, but and so I like the movie going experience. I enjoy it, but even if the movie sucks, at least I got to go go out and do something. But now, I don't know. So no, listen, Janet says, when I'm not at the movies, I am dancing with the bearded oysters. But see, Mark D went to the theater to see it the other night. He thought he liked the movie okay, but he said it was great being back in the theater. Totally different experience. So he's saying it, and look, that might be true. I might have watched Black Widow on the big screen and come on going, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to. I don't know if I'd change my opinion. If my opinion would have been any different, but it would have been at least you're out doing something. So I don't know. Maybe that's it.
True. Yes, and that's a big part of obviously it's the shared experience. I mean, everybody who went to see Endgame, even though it wasn't a great film, everybody was cheering.
Oh yeah, with Cap picked up but just again the experience. I do miss it. I went and saw that 5 times, I think. Even though now I hate it. Arwin says, Dan, what kind of theaters you have up there? Well, we have theaters with these big seats now, and they have a big place for your drink, and they're recliners. And some of them have this one I like to go to has the recliner, plus it has a fold-out little table thing you can pull to your put stuff on.
That's fancy.
And we have other ones called Movie Tavern where they come around and take your order.
Like the Draft House.
Yeah, like it's similar to it's a ripoff of Alamo Draft House, but. Even in the 80s, there was a place like that in Mississippi called that did that where you sit at it, but it was tables, So again, yeah, I like that kind of. I like going to a theater. A lot of people don't. Even though, the worst thing now about theaters, though, is when going to movies, the freaking trailers. Because the reason why, because I used to like, even if there were crappy trailers, used to look forward to trailers. That would be how you know what's coming out. But now they're all over the internet.
Yes, well, if you think back to the Star Wars prequels, people went just to see the trailers. It didn't matter what film it was that they were watching; They just watched the trailer and left.
Guilty. I went to see Ice Age 1, so I could see, I think, an episode 2 trailer. That's so stupid. Oh my God! I think there was a Phantom Menace trailer before Star Trek Insurrection. If I remember right. So yeah, it's but now you've seen them all if you care. They're on YouTube. And there's like 40 of them. Let's say a feature starts at 2:20, for example, in the afternoon, just ballpark, right? Mm-hmm. You're not watching the movie till about 2:45. In fact, you almost knocked out your popcorn. You're sitting there trying to save it for the rest of the movie, but you're so damn, you got popcorn, you can't just not eat it. You're sitting there. By the time the friggin' movie comes out, you try not to drink much because you know why. Because
especially if it's a Marvel movie, since they seem to all be over 2 hours.
Yes. So you're sitting there. With this, there have been times when I almost forgot what freaking movie I was going to see. Because the trailers lasted 20 freaking minutes. I'm like, what are we here to see again? Oh, yeah, that. Not always, but I mean, there were times I'm like, oh, yeah, we're here to see so-and-so because I've lost the will to live at this point. I will be going back to a theater soon. You know what I just saw today, though? Not to jump on it, but Fathom Events is going to be showing Star Trek 4 for the 30th anniversary.
Oh, nice.
In August on theaters, Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home, which we just reviewed a couple of weeks ago on Saturday Night Star Trek with Raquel, but seeing it just to go see it at the big screen again, I like those Fathom events. Do you have those there? Or?
I don't think they're called that, but we did, especially obviously when the lockdown. Well, not when the lockdown because everything was closed, but to try and entice people back to the cinema, they have been showing some of the older films. There's a few that I would love to see back on the big screen. I'd like to see Jurassic Park again.
I think that's played here. Over the past couple of years, I went to some of the Fathom events. I used to go to Riff Tracks Fathom events all the time on Thursday nights.
Oh, I love Riff Tracks.
I love them. Oh, and they were live. Riff Tracks live. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they would broadcast.
Yep, I've seen them.
I used to go to those. Oh, so much fun. I went to so many of the Fathom events. That's a Fathom event as well. I went. Let's see here. To I went to What We Left Behind, the Deep Space Nine documentary.
Documentary, yeah, that's a really good documentary.
It is. That's a good one. I went to that. I went to several different Batman animated films, even though they were coming out on DVD. They had Fathom events. I went to those, including. Unfortunately, I made a mistake going to see the stupid Killing Joke. Whew. Oh, a couple of the Doctor Who. They had like a Doctor Who one. I've been to a couple of those, especially like the one for Patrick Troughton's Power of the Daleks. I was so mad I missed the Star Trek The Motion Picture one. I'm mad at myself for that. I missed the anniversary for that one. The Superman the movie anniversary one. No, went to that. Went to see the big Young Frankenstein.
Okay, that I would love to see up on the big screen.
Oh, and it had a great. It was hilarious. They had Mel Brooks did a live thing. He talked to everybody live and stuff, like thing and whatever. It was pretty cool. I went to see the original Planet of the Apes film at one of those Fathom events. So many. I love those things, and they of course play old movies all the time. Yeah,
I need to look into this. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure they have over there. I don't know. Well, I'm not sure of anything, but I think that, and now they're starting back. But I'm just saying that they would. Fathom events would happen all the time, and if it's a theater, then you see the posters for them, and so yeah, I always like that. The AMC, well, this is Cinemark. Cinemark does Fathoms. Oh, I guess AMC does too. Okay, there you go, Jobber. So, yeah. Hung Frankenstein. Jeez, get out of here. You were asking. So, yeah, I tell you, Purple, I can't. Comic movies are dead. And you know what they needed? They needed to kind of. I think there's a lot of superhero movie fatigue anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think we could have done without the Phase 4, to be honest.
Yes.
Endgame. Just leave it as the end, at least for a while. But they've ramped it up, and it's not just the films. Obviously, it's the TV shows as well, and everything's interconnected. And if you don't see one, you're kind of wondering what the hell's going on.
Yes. Well, and there's the thing, but yes, absolutely, Janet. See, what was it? In fact, I think instead of doing that, you know what they probably should have done? Now, these shows are stupid, but maybe they should have toned down a little instead of, movie. Maybe started doing a little bit more on TV shows, just good ones instead of what they're doing. Like, for example, the Netflix shows, mostly they weren't that good except for Daredevil. I love Daredevil. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, Daredevil was great.
And I'm such a dumbass. I watched all of them, and even though Daredevil's the only one I loved, I'm so stupid. I watched both seasons of Jessica Jones, and then I tried to watch the third one. That was when it had enough. And people liked it.
I really like Constantine. I know that's DC, but I thought that was
that was a good show. That was a good show. Now then they put him with that CW universe. I watched like an idiot. I watched Iron Fist, both seasons. Oh God, I was really disappointed in Luke Cage. I was disappointed in. I'm not a Punisher fan anyway. I like the guy playing him, but I didn't like Punisher that much. I didn't think they did a good job. But I watched both. But I watched them all, except for and Defenders. That was disappointing. But because they're not the real Defenders. But I did love Daredevil, even though the third season had its faults. But I still, Charlie Cox is terrific as Daredevil. So, but yes, stuff. As soon as you get something like Constantine, boom, it's dead. Of course, it did. What it was 13 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I just really liked Matt Ryan. I thought he really played a good role.
Yeah, well, get ready for the new Constantine.
Oh God.
Oh, have you seen it? I guess you've heard about the casting, right?
Yes, I have. Yes. Yeah.
There's a good question. Were you ever a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I checked out after season 4. I checked out about somewhere in season 2. Kal-El. Back when that was on during my show, we had kind of a flash, and my friend Matt, we had a running bit about that. We called, excuse me, pardon me. We called it Agents of Name Dropping. Tonight, on a thrilling episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're going to mention Captain America. Ooh. Because there'd be an episode, they'd be sitting around and someone would mention Thor or the Hulk. They'll mention him. But there's still a bunch of just people having boring. Again, I like Coulson okay in the movies. The show was a crashing bore for the most part. And I tried and tried. Even went back after being gone for a while when they tied it into Winter Soldier a little bit. And I just couldn't get into it. I even went back when I heard the Absorbing Man was going to be on there. You know who he was fighting? He looked kind of cool. Close. Mm-hmm. He was fighting humans, not Thor or Hulk. The Absorbing Man. You and I've talked about villains. So I watched the show and I'm like, Agents of Name Droppers. Tonight, on a very thrilling episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they'll have a conversation about the Hulk.
But you won't see him because they can't afford it.
No, they can't afford it, but they can't get him. They had Nick Fury popped up in one episode. Ooh, great. 5 minutes, by the way, or whatever it was. Tonight, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to say the name Captain America. We're going to say the Avengers. Okay. And I know they had Sif on an episode or two, but I don't know. It just really got boring to me. It was really, yeah. So I just me, I'm sure a lot of people did like it, and it went on forever. I remember thinking it was gone because it just was out of sight, out of mind, and I flipped out to do it one night or whatever, and there it is, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, not a clue. It's unrecognizable to me.
Louise asks, will we watch The Sandman?
Which one?
Sandman.
Oh, yes. Oh, good Lord. I feel so bad for you. Oh, my God. You're in trouble. Are you gonna review it? Or I guess
I probably will not review each individual episode. I might do like a retrospective, or if I do, it will be like a 10-minute review. I don't think I could do a stream on it.
What you should do is, if it's going to be like these pansy ass runs for all seasons, or like what 12 now at the most, just do the whole season when it's done. Just like an encapsulated review of the whole season. Why bother breaking it down in episodes? I mean,
just do an overview.
Right, I mean, it's one thing if it's like the old days when it's 20-something episodes and you give it a nice deep dive, but friggin' 12 episodes, 8 episodes? They do. I love Cobra Kai, but they do 10 of that one. Hey, Tim's Talk. Tim's Talk. Good to see you. So you can just knock it out in one show there.
At least it's not like the MCU. We've got like 6 episodes.
Yes, another thing. These, 6 exciting episodes of Loki sitting around getting kicked in the nuts. I'm not kidding. Sorry to spoiler. Spoiler alert, everyone. He gets that from the same woman like 20 times because it's a perpetual loop thing. Sorry to be spoilery, but I'm like, it kind of sort of encapsulates what the show is all about. So yeah, tonight today on Loki. A guy who can take a beating from the Hulk gets the crap kicked out of him by a middle-aged old woman, or a middle-aged like normal-looking woman, human. Okay, sure. I mean, no, it sucks.
I'd feel bad for Tom Hiddleston, but he signed off on this, so
he did.
I don't.
Feel bad for his agent when he takes him and slams him into the concrete like the Hulk. You put me in this crap? Oh, why? What did you do this for? And yeah, Mark, see, actually, it was Ghost. Yeah, like Chris Persia said, like I've always called it, it was Ghost Driver. It wasn't Ghost Rider. That's another thing. Marvel Agents of Shield. This is another thing they used to do. Okay, they would take a villain because you and I talk about villains sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
Now the MCU does this as well. Not just them. The other ones, the rest of it does it. And that villain will be so unrecognizable from the comics that you'll go, wait a minute. That like they kept mentioning the name of oh God, I forget his. Drawing a blank on his name now, but Frank Cross. I forget the guy's name, but they kept mentioning his name, not his supervillain name. And they're like the third time I heard him say it. Now I'm forgetting it. I went, that's Gravitron, and it turned enough it was a version of it that was so unrecognizable that I only knew it because they were saying his civilian name. It was nothing like it. Then they had Blizzard, same deal, and then they had. Who's the other one that they did? I was just thinking about it. They had another one of their stupid episodes where they had a villain that was taken from the comics. Yeah, Gravitron was terrible. It was so stupid. One of the most powerful Marvel villains ever. But anyway, they take these villains and they piece them from little, and they just do a little bit of it. Just ton. I mean, their version of Deathlock was a joke. I wanted to. Ugh. That's why I can't stand Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, there you go. Bill Paxton was on there. He's supposed to be Deathlock. No. No. How about just don't do Deathlock if you're going to do that kind of crap?
Yes, they don't do well with the villains as a whole, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, again, you did name some good examples. Again, Thanos and Loki, and I think Ultron was good. Even though I hated what they did to his origin. But if you run out, the list doesn't go too much when it comes to the MCU.
No, they've for every good villain they've had, there's been like 3 that were wasted. The one from Doctor Strange, Caecilius, I thought was a terrible villain.
Great actor, terrible villain.
The one from Guardians,
Ronan.
Ronan the Accuser.
Good villain. Wasted. They just totally wasted him. He sucked. And I like the movie, but Ego. I don't like it. I love Kurt Russell. I don't really like the way they handled Ego, to be honest.
No.
And I love him, and I enjoyed the movie, but I'm just saying, you guys really don't know what you're doing with these villains, like for the most part. Now, staying out of the MCU for a little bit, I thought they did a okay job with Norman Osborn, and it's just that when he became when he's Green Goblin, he's wearing a Power Rangers mask.
Did you ever see the mask that they almost gave him that was part animatronic?
If I did, I don't recall it.
It looked pretty cool, but apparently they considered it too cartoony.
And this wasn't? The Power Rangers mask wasn't? How do I feel about Ant-Man? I liked the first Ant-Man. That villain wasn't. They had almost a non-existent villain. That movie works on the strength of Paul Rudd and a fun cast and a fun script, but not again another villain with this. I mean, he's supposed to be their version of Yellow Jacket. Hank Pym didn't create Yellow Jacket in this case. Ugh. And Ant-Man and Wasp villain wasn't really good either. The Ghost.
Yes, I completely forgot about that one actually.
Let's see, what are the other villains? Yeah, again, you want to talk about missed opportunity? The Incredible Hulk film. Again, a lot of people don't like it. I thought it's at least better than that piece of crap Ang Lee Hulk movie from 2003. Did you see that crap?
I did. Nobody likes that film.
Did you know Siskel? I think he was gone, but Ebert gave it a thumbs up. I think he was really sick at the time, though. That movie, all right, Ang Lee's Hulk, people, I think it's underrated as maybe one of the, in terms of one of the worst movies. As far as it doesn't make it as high enough on worst movie lists, is what I'm saying. Brokeback Hulk. It's really, really bad by the time you see Hulk's first action. And then he fights gamma irradiated poodles.
Yes, he does.
Poodles. Not the Abomination like he did in the next movie. Not the Rhino. Not the Absorbing Man.
Dogs.
Yes. Doggies.
A
poodle. I wanted to. Oh my god! And you know what? You know it's weird. I don't that back then. You know, pirating wasn't a big deal, but my brother just happened to get this bootleg of it before it came to the theater. I'm admitting it now. It's 2003. What are they going to do?
Yes. If you hear a knock at the door, you know
Right,
they're
there
going
you
to
go.
call you.
You want to try? Well, I deserve it. Well, and I was like, I want to go see this at the theater, but my buddy said, no, let's watch it now. So we watched it, and I was like, thank God we didn't go to the friggin' theater. I would have been the Hulk. There's a movie. There's a
That
bit
I would
early.
have paid money to see.
I would have been so. Let me tell you something. There's a scene early on. We're sitting. A buddy of mine. We're both very highly. At the time, we used to write a lot of movie scripts together and stuff. So we're very critical of film. But we're sitting there watching this. There's a scene early on where Bruce Banner falls asleep, right, and he's having some flashbacks in his memory. And you know, Ang Lee, who directed a movie I love, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, has this weird sequence, right, where he's remembering his past, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the characters in his flashback has a flashback. And we're sitting there and going, I said, did he just have a flashback inside of a flashback? He said, no, did he? Oh, he did. Wait a minute. So if you go back and watch it now, maybe, just maybe I'm imagining it. It's been 30 years. He had a flashback in a flashback scene. I can't be imagining this. What in the hell am I watching? With all of his split panel scenes where he's breaking the panels up and shit. Oh my God, what drugs were you on, Ang Lee? Winter Hands ASMR. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. A new person popped in. The Absorbing Man and Tatiana story was awesome in Secret Wars. But I'm not sure what Secret Wars you're referring to there. I guess in the comics there. But thank you for being here.
Comics, yeah.
In the comics. Some people have been saying there was an old one and a new one. But so that movie, after that point, I was kind of like, oh my God, what the fuck is this movie? And for like 4 more hours, it's just a bunch of silly flashback scenes, and it's all these goddamn scenes with you know how you remember it, right? It was trying to make it look like a comic book. Well,
yes,
in theory, you can go, maybe that's laudable, but it just looks weird, dude. Make a movie.
Yeah, it can be done, but it's got to be a very special, you know, you've got to be able to do it. Something like 300 did it really well.
Yes.
But
this was weird.
Yeah.
And then, so we get the poodle fight. And I'm like, oh my God. Now, the fight when he's fighting the army, that was kind of okay. But then they catch him. And he ends up with Nick Nolte. But I'm convinced, by the way, folks, that Nick Nolte they went to his rehab, and he's walking out, and they go, oh, you want to be in the Hulk? And here, sign here. Well, he probably even said, oh, take a shower. No, you're fine like that. Come on. No, don't do a thing.
Just bundled it into a van and drove off.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Come on, Nick. No. You don't have to be coherent. You could be, because in a few years, Mickey Rourke will have an even more incoherent performance than you in Iron Man 2. We looked into the future. So let's get what's my name again? Nick Nolte. Have you ever seen like Riff Tracks really has it in for Nick Nolte? There's a clip online of 15 minutes of different Riff Track clips of them making fun of Nick Nolte. It's called Riff Tracks versus Nick Nolte. Everyone, is hilarious.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh God, Mr. Nolte, done this story. So, I'm sorry I cussed there, Janet. I apologize for the GD there. I apologize. It was, and then if Father Miller hears that, I'm in trouble. Father, I'm sorry. That's the only one he doesn't like. He doesn't care about the curse. So they said, look, no, you're fine. Don't take a shower. You're perfect. Come sit down and just mumble crap, and it'll be fine. Here's your lines. So, and he's sitting there with Bruce Banner, and for some friggin' reason, that storyline of the Hulk comes from Peter David started that crap about the abusive father crap in Bruce Banner's life or whatever. I believe it was him. in the comics. So
Mm-hmm.
they dredged that up. And so all of a sudden, I don't know what they're sitting him there for, but because of this experimentation he's been doing on himself and all this crap, he becomes the absorbing man for no damn reason. Sort of. And I'm sure you've seen the film. I'm just saying, I got a vent on it. Because then they end up in this fight, and I guess they didn't have the budget, because they ended up like just showing these flash scenes, these scenes of the weather, and these little stop with like these little, you know what I'm talking? You remember that, like little shuddering scenes of there's no fight. It's just like little bitty flickers.
Basically, like panels from a comic book that they were going for. Yeah.
Right. So we don't know how he beat his absorbing daddy. We just know that absorbing daddy is beaten, and we just know that Nick Nolte got a paycheck and he got to go get some more drinks. I'm sorry to be mean to Nick Nolte. I'm just saying it was because I loved him in 48 Hours. You know, Nick Nolte was he was great in that movie. Then he kept acting like Jack Cates in every other damn movie.
If he's lucky, he doesn't remember being in that film. So. Oh
hell no, he really doesn't. Yes, it was. Oh, okay. Chris Berger, thanks. It was. Yes, it was Peter David's idea in order to bring together all the pieces of his fractured mind to give it. Okay, I was reading the series for. Well, Peter David wrote it for like 11 years, so I figured ahead of him. Long stint on the Hulk. So then it's just over, and you sit there like, man, if I'd been in the theater, I'd have been upset. I was already upset. So I'm sitting there going, Jesus Christ, what did I just watch? Look what I did. I was just about to talk about the Incredible Hulk, and I jumped on. I'm sorry. But the Incredible Hulk wasted a villain, too, because I thought it was okay. Well, compared to that. It wasn't great or anything. You know, Ed Norton is, Ed Norton, I don't know, I prefer Art Carney as Ed Norton. Sorry. But you notice they had the scene with Dr. Samuel Stearns, the guy that helped them out, and he goes to him for the cure right before at the end where he fights Abomination.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that's the leader's one of the Hulk. You know, I'm talking about villains. He's one of the Hulk's big villains. That's who it was, the leader. And they even show his head. You know, the crap getting on his head at the end there, and that's going to make his head get big. Never see him again.
Well. Yep.
Never see him again. And that was a good actor too, whatever that dude's name was. Yeah. Oh, man, Chris, that would be great to see Maestro, but they would ruin him too. I love Maestro. He's a great villain. For Future Imperfect, that's a great story, by the way. Maybe I'll do a recommendation on that soon. George Perez, Peter David, George Perez. It's a Hulk lives into the future and becomes the big villain called the Maestro, and he's like kills all the villains and stuff. It's like a Elseworlds type thing, but it's pretty good. It was actually great art. It was a 2-part prestige format comic from the 90s at some point. Great art by George Perez. It's pretty brutal stuff. But so yeah, I don't know. Marvel. I don't even know what I was talking about. I was just trashing the MCU.
We were talking about misused villains.
Yes, misused villains. And like me, I consider myself a misused villain. You know who was misused in Black Widow? Thunderbolt Ross. What's he doing there the whole damn time? Didn't really use him. I still don't understand what she thought she was doing by giving herself up to him. I mean, how's she going to? Or it seemed like it. They're not clear on it.
No. And we were talking this morning as well about a character that apparently was in the credits but wasn't in the film.
Oh yeah.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Until I heard you guys talking about today. I'm like, really?
So I'd be very curious as to what that was that got cut and why he's now distancing himself from the MCU.
Yeah, well, maybe he filmed the scene 20 years ago when this was made. Or what was it, like 3-4 years ago now? 2 years ago? Whatever?
Something like that. It's been, delayed twice now?
Yes. Yeah, so it's been a couple of years. So I didn't know that till you were all talking about that today. Wow. Okay. Well, maybe it'll be on the Blu-ray that I won't buy.
Yes. But fortunately, we have YouTube, so
yes,
somebody is bound to put it up on YouTube.
Yes, that's a great way to say, hey, 70s, what's up? Good to see you, brother. So I did that panel the other day on comics of the '80s. Were you buying any comics in the '80s?
I was reading Batman in the 80s.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, Black Mask.
mm-hmm.
Timmy Drake. Well, not Timmy Drake. It's Jason Todd. Then he gets killed. It just depends on when you were reading it. Batman: The Killing Joke, Batman: The Cult, which I didn't like the Cult too much, but
I actually quite like the Cult. I would admit.
did you?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, by the way, as Batman: The Killing Joke came out when my shop opened in 1988. That was the first week. Came out that first week, and it was a few months later the Batman: The Cult came out. I'm a big fan of the artist Bernie Wrightson.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he slumped. It was not his best work. And I thought it was a pretty sickening story. If I remember, well, our good friend, I think it was my good friend, dear departed friend Mark C, said he came over to buy it from my store. And when he was a kid, he was a teenager. And I warned him, I think I had to get maybe he had to get his mother's permission or something to buy it. It could be a different friend because I've had so many friends tell me they bought comics from me as a kid. Yeah, KG Beast was around that time. But I'd tell them, I can't sell you a kid Batman the Cult. One of them told me that story. I don't know if it was him or not now. I had that so many times, like people say, I bought comics when you was a kid, Mike. But how am I going to remember them? I mean, they were a kid. Anyway, there were so many great comics back then, Purple. I tell you, when we were doing that panel, I tried to talk a little bit about, and there were so many to cover,
Mm-hmm.
So many great titles that I could do recommendations on them forever. Because if you could find them, Marvel, there's some good, DC kicked Marvel's crap as far as the big two, kicked Marvel's ass in the 80s.
Yes, it wasn't really to the early 90s when Marvel kind of upped the game, wasn't it?
Well, I think that, for some people, for me, I really wasn't even liking it then, but it was the alternative comics.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's the wrong word, the independent comics, the direct sales comics that were for, comic shops only, which we talked about the other day, that were really, so many of these titles, of course, John Sable, Freelance from Mike Grell. What a great comic. I even had the t-shirt of this. This was a great comic. Again, I was one of those, I was stuck in superheroes. I had to have superheroes, but I was getting to that age in my late teens where I wanted to experiment with other types in the genre and of the art form.
Mm-hmm.
Great crime comic. But still, there was stuff, deconstruction and stuff. Watchmen was out there. This is no particular order. I know you've read that one.
Oh, yes.
You want a confession?
What's that?
I hated issue 4. But we were so excited about this comic when it came out. The uproar for Dark Knight, in Miller's Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm generally very, very hit and miss with Frank Miller. Some of the stuff I really like, some of it I think is absolute trash.
Agreed. For example, I overordered on this sucker because, and I was told I wasn't running. This was a shop I wasn't running. I didn't own it. The owner and I clashed over this. Frank Miller had defected from Marvel, went to do this Ronin series, and he said it's Frank Miller. Because his Daredevil was gigantic. His Daredevil and his Wolverine miniseries made him a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's, his Daredevil run was brilliant, even in his first, and then his work with Chris Claremont on Wolverine. We made that issue number 1 there, Wolverine miniseries. We made that our t-shirt, our shop t-shirt. So you can't miss with him, right? We had this argument. I said, look, order on it. And I'm a stupid kid. I don't know anything, but I said, there's no Ronin. No one knows who Ronin is. I'm going to tell you, they're not going to be buying. They like Frank Miller. People will buy a Frank Miller comic book, but that's not Daredevil. This is before he touched Batman, other than like a short story he did a couple of years earlier for DC. So Batman wasn't on Miller's radar. I'm telling you, no one knows who that is. We got to we don't go too crazy on it. It's $250. That's a lot of money back then. It was a slick formatted book with slick paper. But I said, no one knows who this Ronin is. And we got to take it. No, it's Frank Miller, gold. Guess what we got stuck with?
A load of Ronin.
Load of Ronin. And I didn't even like it that much. He changed his art style. Look, people would buy it. It's true. Some people will buy it for Frank Miller. I was one of them. But I said, most people are going to buy the character first. No. No. They're going to buy the name. I said, they don't buy artist comic name first. They buy character first. No. But anyway, hey, I was wrong on a lot. I over-ordered and under-ordered and all kind of crap. I made mistakes too. I'm just saying that was.
But that one, you can say,
that one.
The show.
And this one ripped my heart out. Jim Starlin's Death of Captain Marvel. I don't know if you've ever read this one. Wow.
I haven't, no. I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
The way, for a superhero to die like that. And it was the very first actual graphic novel, boys and girls. When you go to the Barnes and Noble and you see the word graphic novel and there are a bunch of trade paperbacks that are reprints, that's not really a graphic novel. It's just a pet peeve. It's a trade paperback reprint, compilation, an omnibus, and an epic collection or an archives. But this is an actual graphic novel, which means it was made for that format, and it's not a reprint. Yeah, and that's the very first one.
So something like Triumph and Torment, for example.
Yeah. There've been many. Yes, there've been many like that.
Yeah.
Mike Grell's Great Star Slayer. Not to be remember that, but anyone remember The Rocketeer? That was number 2. We went nuts.
That's great.
I love this film. I love the movie. God rest Dave Stevens' soul. He gave us this, and I love Michael Kaluta cover on Madam. This was one of the first direct sales comics by DC. But this was a great series. Amazing. Look at all these non-DC and Marvel comics for the most part. I ordered this on a whim, and everyone loved it, and I couldn't order enough of it, and now no one ever knows what it is. Dark Tangent. It's a black and white comic magazine.
I've never heard of that.
It's tough to find now, probably, but this was popular. I don't think they did any more issues, though.
Is that a wraparound cover?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Always like a little wrapper. And again, it was by a nobody company. This was huge, and I didn't like it that much. I wasn't a big fan of Howard Chaykin, but I couldn't keep it. People love the American flag. As you know, people love the turtles. Mm-hmm. First day I opened up. I ordered heavy on this one and was able to stock it for a while because I had to limit quantities. Everybody wanted to buy multiple copies of this bad boy. And I have issues with it, but it's a good comic.
I always liked the art. I've got to admit.
Brian Boland, sensational.
Boland's art was awesome.
I loved Grimjack, great comic that no one thinks about anymore. I love Moonlight. That Moonlight TV show scares me, even if I like Oscar Isaacs and all. This went straight to this is when Marvel saw all these direct sales comics, which means comic shops only that they can make more mature. So they made Moonlight direct sales, and believe it or not, Kazar direct sales. They changed it to direct sales, which means they could only adults. Yeah, and there was Spider-Man on there. Not adults, but only comic shops, because Are you familiar with a comic called ElfQuest?
Mm-hmm. I've heard of ElfQuest, yeah.
That was huge back then. And look at this, Warp Graphics. It was a strangely sized, magazine-sized little thing that took a long time to come out. Huge following. One of the first direct sales comics.
Superboy. Nice.
Yep, it was a direct sales special. Miracle Man. I know he was originally Marvel Man and Warrior Magazine, and Alan Moore took forever. It only took a decade to finish this story. Same with that.
Oh, love the V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. But this was back when it was in a comic book form, not a reprint trade.
Yeah, I've only got the trade.
Well, this was huge, and it only took like 20,000 years for the second issue to come out. I used to miss one of the last really time Neil Adams really did any good art. Teen Titans got so big they put it direct sales. God, they were so good. Kirby the King in the early 80s went to Pacific Comics and did his own comic there. He later did this benefit book to help Steve Gerber in his lawsuit against Marvel for the ownership of Howard the Duck. I overordered on this one. It was a direct sales. It was basically Marvel's answer, or DC's answer to the Punisher. Great off-the-wall comic, Nexus, by Mr. Mike Baron. I know you're familiar with Mike Baron.
Mm-hmm.
One of his most famous comics of the time. Also, this was too, Badger.
Oh, Badger. Yes.
Yeah, he was, again. But my friend Claude Kloss played Badger. Even Micronauts went direct sales. Again, only in comic shops, folks. I love this book. No one else did but me. No one even remembers it. Wordsmith. E-Man direct sales. This is one of the most controversial books of the age. Have you ever heard of Cerebus the Aardvark?
I've heard of it, never read it.
It's complicated, but I used to love it. That's when Star-Lord wasn't a horny man-child like he is in the movies now. Not my words. A friend of mine who hates the movies loves the comic book Star-Lord. So, a little bit of a recap there, folks. Love and Rockets was huge. I never read it, but a lot of people loved it. Loved Zot.
Not familiar with Zot.
Zot was so much fun. And the gentleman who did it, Scott McCloud, ended up later doing the comic called one of the greatest comics ever made, in my opinion. It's a one-shot, gigantic, bigger than a treasure edition called Destroy. The loudest comic book in the universe. This makes me sad because it brings me back to a memory of not too long before our dear departed, Mark C. had passed. He wants a copy of this. He asked me if it was worth it. And I said, oh, yeah, they never read it. He's a lot younger. It's a parody of superheroes beating the crap out of two big muscle-bound superhero dumbasses fighting over a girl and beating the crap out of each other and destroying the city just because they're mad at each other. It's really fun, very Kirby-esque, and has a hilarious punchline. And he was trying to track down a copy, but it's kind of rare. I still have mine. I was trying to help him find one, too. Yeah, the good old days. Well, they say good old days. Maybe they weren't good after all, but I loved them anyway. The direct sales cover of Dazzler #1. You like Dazzler? A lot of people like Dazzler.
I like her as a novelty character. Yeah.
Yeah. She was co-created by a record company with Jim Shooter. And I think she was originally supposed to be like Grace Jones or something, but it's kind of a weird deal. Mr. X was fun. Again, some of these very obscure comics. We were talking to Chuck Dixon that night a couple weeks ago. One of the first time I ever saw his work right there.
Oh boy, yeah.
Alan Moore. What he was doing with Swamp Thing, that's what put him on the map in America. And his Swamp Things here. If you've never read this Swamp Thing annual, you want to read one of the most disturbing, scary, brilliant comics you've ever read. This annual.
Never been able to get into Swamp Thing, even though it's been recommended.
Well, it's Alan Moore. I mean, his Swamp Thing's different, but I always loved the character anyway, so maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm.
What greatest Superman story ever made? The end of the Silver and Bronze Age Superman, and make way for the Burn Filthy reboot. So the Superman annual right here. Also, that might be the greatest Superman story ever done. I'm not sure. It's tough to tell. Alan Moore did a lot of backup stories and things. This is one of the greatest Green Lantern types backup stories ever. My Beloved Legion. And we were talking about Miller. He's hit or miss. Miller's done some crap I can't stand now. But he wrote one of the greatest comics ever made, in my opinion. It's called Born Again. If you like Daredevil, they kind of cherry-picked bits and pieces of it for the TV show. But if you like Daredevil, folks, Born Again. And there's the cover for the trade. This is by far his greatest Daredevil work, and it was great before he left the series for many years and came back and did this. Unbelievable. And if you want to just have a little fun with a superhero comic of the 80s, and see Batman punch Guy Gardner. If you want to see a dork meeting the king of comics and being too dorky, in 1990, there he is, this jackass jerk off.
Oh, that's a good picture.
That's so terrible. I wish it was a better. And there's, but Jack's got my back.
Literally. Yes.
And this is a couple years earlier when I'm being robbed for a comic. Now I had a Batman. This was right before the Batman '89 movie came out. I had a drawing for the complete Frank Miller Batman hardcover. Whoever won it, of course, got that and tickets to the movie. And that was the young man, and I made him pretend like he was sticking me up because I was a humorous an unfunny jerk off. So anyway, that's a little stroll down memory lane from our panel we did the other night, folks. Iconicon. And yo, there's Jed. What's up, dude? And who else is here? Oh, yeah. Eric's got to mess with me. Eric is mean to me. Oh, no. Well, everyone, I have kept the wonderful Purple. I kept you up late again. Damn it. But I can't help it because I love talking to you. You got to tell me.
Talking to you as well. No,
you got to tell me these things.
We're having too much fun to stop.
Oh, I'm having so much fun with you. And I'm having so much fun with these wonderful people here. So we'll just close up and just say that everyone, I don't know why I hit 1,000.
Well, that's easy. We know why you hit 1,000 because you deserve it.
See, there she's admitting it. Purple cheated somehow. Oh, YouTube heard that. I'm just kidding, YouTube. But I tell you what, I just can't form the words. I'm not much. You all know I'm not much with words. You all know I'm not much of a speaker, but I'm just going to say that thank you all for this fantastic year that I've, been being my buddy and being my pal and hanging out with me and stuff like this. You are just fantastic. Every one of you. You're all my dear friends. You're not viewers or subs. You're friends. And I appreciate you so much. And we have beautiful ladies here like Janet and Arwen and Purple. And, of course, my wonderful friend Raquel Briggs, my first officer. And then a couple of guys. You're guys, so I don't really care about you guys. No, just kidding. Love you. I just care about the ladies more. Can you blame me? Eric, can I get an amen, somebody? I mean, let's just be honest. You're all fantastic. Family indeed, Arwen. So Arwen, Janet, Mark D with a C, and Jed, and Pat S, and Steve Mitchum, and Steve Thompson, and the great D Bud Martin, and all, like Chris Persia, Buddy, Phantom Outsider, the great Eric K. Oh my good, so many wonderful friends here. Some new friends popped in tonight. My chat doesn't go that far back, so I can't find everyone. But I'm going to just shout out, and of course, shout out to other great friends like the fantastic Stone Loki, my good buddy. 70s, that 70s popped in as well, brother. New friend like Winter Hands there, thank you. Tim Possible popped in. My memory, everyone. I got a garbage memory. Zathras is here. All right. Zathras not understand, but Zathras do. I like Zathras. Only because I get to do my stupid Zathras impression every time he pops up. He's probably sick of it. But Zathras is good character. Khalil, good to see you, my friend. Thank you also. I want to thank you all, everyone, for being here. Much love to you. Oh, Nick Weiser was here, too. The great Nick Weiser, brother. Another great friend. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we shall have the comic book roundtable right here.
Nice.
Right here. Yes, I'm hosting it. And after last week, I said, so whose channel is it on? Yours? Did you forget? Yeah, I forgot. I have to ask every time. At least they told me this time. I didn't know until like a day before last time I had to do it. I was like, oh, it's my turn? Whoops. So the comic book roundtable will be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, and we will talk about, let's see, the topic is tables that are round and have comic books on them.
That's a good topic.
Because let's be honest, you can't have enough tables in the world, and you can't have enough comics in the world. When you mix the two together, and you have tables, and you have comics, and you have comics on tables, folks,
it's a winning combination.
Hell yeah. The possibilities are unlimitless. Oh my goodness! Thank you all so much for being here, and again, oh yes, Wednesday, my good buddy Raymond Feliciano is going to hang out with me, and
awesome.
And we're going to hopefully not miss the Global Geek Gang this week, like we unfortunately had to the last week. So the Global Geek Gang will be 1 p.m. Central. It'll be back next week. This week I'm pretty sure, unless something bad happens. And it was kind of an emergency last week. And Saturday night, Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central, of course, reviewing the next batch of Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes. Rough. Now, in just under 1 month, and I'm sorry, Purple, to keep distracting, but I forgot to do this. In just under 1 month, Marvel Comics, screw you and your collective stupid faces. You do not know how. You do not have the right to celebrate the Fantastic Four. I'm taking that right for myself. I am relieving you of duty. I am taking from you any responsibility for the Fantastic Four, and it's celebrating its 60th anniversary. And on August the 8th, because August the 8th, 1961 was the debut of Fantastic Four #1, we are going to get together on August the 8th, 2021, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S., because I now own the Fantastic Four. And I think I'm probably in trouble for saying that crap. I only mean in spirit, everyone.
I think you should own it in general, to be honest.
I would love to. Oh, I would do it. I would do it honor. But I have, for legal reasons, I have to say in spirit. It's owned by those jackasses at Marvel and Disney. I mean, those fine, lovely people at Marvel and Disney who we all love and worship and think are the bestest ever. They're all just fantastic. We love them so much. We wish they were here right now. That's how much we love them. So that's what I meant to say. I love you, Janet, too. And Just Joe, what's up, bro? Always thanks for being here, man. So we will celebrate accordingly. Now I've built this thing up so much when it happens, we'll just be sitting around much and geeking out about the FF. It's gonna be. I have nothing really. Okay, I'm just gonna confess.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be just geeking out and doing nothing in particular. Pop culture activist, just kidding. Archivist is here too. The great Jed, thanks, buddy. So yeah, Herbie for president. Now, Pat S., you were fired, buddy. I told you about that Herbie nonsense, boy. Just kidding. He likes Herbie. So I shall gather my gang of global geeks, and we shall celebrate. Lo, there came a day like no other. Oh, that's the Avengers. Sorry. I stole the Avengers tagline. We shall celebrate the world's greatest comic magazine. Yeah, it didn't start. They didn't have that on the cover until like issue, I forget the issue. Someone knows it now, 20-something or whatever, 13, 14, whatever it was. But it'll always be that. The world's greatest comic magazine, and Wesley does still suck. Snort, that's right. Wesley sucks. That's a new thing for our... We have a saying for our new Saturday Night Star Trek Next Generation, is that Wesley sucks.
You're not wrong.
Oh, we hate him. I mean, in a nice way. So, yes. So that's it, folks. We will celebrate the Fantastic Four as God intended, or as Doom intended. Well, maybe not Doom. He probably wouldn't want us selling it. We're celebrating him, but he has no say in this.
No, he'd be wanting us to celebrate him. Yes.
Yes, he would want. Oh, Pop Culture Republic, hey there. He would say, celebrate the Fantastic Four. I think not. You must celebrate Victor Von Doom. All right, everyone. After that garbagey voice of Dr. Doom, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you all, and thanks again.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
Colby, and congratulations. Seriously. I know you don't want to take the credit, but you have earned this, and people love you for it. So we are very, very proud of you. And now get monetized so we can send you super chats.
Mono-watched? I don't know what that means. Oh, thank you, Purple. Thank you so much. I love you. You are the best, and I have so much fun with you. And everyone, I would apologize to Purple for keeping her up so late, but it will be insincere because I got to hang out with her, so she just has to suffer, I guess.
And I'd tell him off if you did anyway, because I was going to do this.
I love you. I love hanging out with you. Take care, everyone. And now, big shout out to the great Stone Loki, who's been a great friend here as well. And he made this intro outro for me. So, buddy, good luck on that move, bro. This just in, Wesley sucks.